I'm Christina Jackaman,
Hey, and I'm Hannah Diffenbaugh.
and we, for our design project, did a apartment room at the Heights at MacArthur Park. And for one of the areas in the apartment, we did the stove, and the knobs are further back on the stove. We thought maybe bringing them further up would help. We also thought the faucets were very hard to reach due to how they're centered in the back of the tub of the sink. And then another area, so all the pantry and the cabinets all have knobs on the doors, and that can be a barrier for someone who has trouble with fine motor skills. We also said that the cabinets, majority of them, although there are a lot of cabinet space, a lot of them are high up in the apartment. There are a few that are down low, but they can be difficult for someone to reach as well. And then also the entryway to the apartment to get to the kitchen is very narrow, so maybe widening the space to give someone more accessibility to turn around in the kitchen would be more easier.
Mm-hmm. So then, based off Christina's recommendations, I started looking at what we could do for the kitchen at the Heights at MacArthur. And so when we're looking at the knobs on the back of the stove, one thing we talked about in class is moving the knobs to the front of the stove. So that eliminates someone having to reach in the back, leaning over the stove, especially if it's on. That's definitely a safety concern. And then we also thought about making them color contrasting. So if the stove is black, maybe making the knobs like a yellow or silver, so someone with a visual impairment would be better able to distinguish the knob and know how to turn it to get it on or off or to a certain temperature. And then for the sink, as Christina said, it is kind of hard to reach in the back for someone that was in a wheelchair or had decreased range of motion, especially in their upper extremities. So one thing that I was able to find is a Delta Alexa-enabled faucet, which is really cool. It works off voice command, so you can tell Alexa, turn on the faucet, turn off the faucet. And another really neat feature of that is if you're making like a cup of coffee per se, you could say, hey, Alexa, fill up the coffee cup to 2 cups. So it's able to disperse how much you want. So that would be a good recommendation for someone who's unable to reach the faucet. For the knobs on the pantry door, we noticed that those are kind of hard to grasp if you have decreased range of motion in your fingers or decreased grip strength. And so we found these things called the easy door knobs, and it's very easy to install. So we would educate the client on getting these. You can get these from like your local Walmart or Dollar Tree, honestly. And you can put it on any size door, and when you grab onto it, it increases the surface area of the knob, so you don't have to have a more refined grasp. It's able to have more of like a palmar grasp, and so that would be good for someone that has decreased grip strength. And also you can like open the door with a larger joint, so like your elbow, your shoulder, whatever is easiest. Looking at the cabinet spaces, as Christina said, the majority of them are up high, and so this is a very easy fix. Just educating or recommending a reacher for your client, so that would avoid strain on their upper extremity, or if they're climbing up the cabinets to try to reach something, this would reduce a fall, which is huge for older adults. And then finally, the entryway to the kitchen is very narrow. It'd be extremely hard for someone with a wheelchair or even crutches or another adaptive equipment to turn around or get in. And so as OTs, we know that we cannot physically take apart the walls and put them back together, but we can recommend that our client talk to a contractor and widen the door hallways to increase their surface area to turn around. And it is recommended that they have at least 5 by 5 feet so they can turn around with ease. And then a simple solution for that would be to increase the lighting in the hallway. So if they are talking about how it's so narrow and they keep tripping over things like their rug or anything, we could tell them, of course, to remove the rug, but to increase the lighting so they're less likely to trip. Thanks.
Thanks for listening.